Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to August. Welcome to the August Energy Report. Just a reminder, these August energy reports and messages are things that are not only just going to happen for August, but are now the messages and maybe some events and things that are happening that are coming now into the collective that will remain as a message going forward. Anyway, I just want to say I'm getting a little kind of tired. Maybe it's just the heat here of doing these reports. So I may have to take a break. But also I have to say, when I tune in just to get some little, have some fun and tune in psychically to see what events may be coming in, I have to say that the images that I see have been pretty darn accurate. Most of the visions have come to fruition. However, my interpretation and location has been completely wrong. Anyway, so I don't know what to say. I'm getting a little tired of that because what's the point? So I might share a thing or two about what's coming in this month, but yeah, I was correct with the vision about something coming from the sky. I thought it was a meteor. It ended up being a missile, and the bullets flying through the air the 4th of July, that absolutely happened. A guy on a roof shooting people in a parade, and also the police stopping two guys. They had massive amounts of ammunition and guns and were planning a 4th of July attack. So that was right. DC seeing red. Well, the midterm elections just happened, and I think it was all red. What else? I talked about seeing some whales, a story about a whale, and absolutely that just happened a couple days ago. Some rare event of a whale jumping out of the water in the Boston Harbor. So while I thought it happened on the West Coast, so I just don't even know what to tell you anymore. Anyway, let's move on with the words that I got for the month of August, or the energy, that things that are coming in, particularly for those viewers that watch these videos. Okay, the words that I got: sabotage, indifference, and motivation. Sabotage, things that will be happening, and maybe this is more aligned with US government things, but that you think something is going along just fine and it's just about to be completed, and then something comes along and shifts the projection of whatever that is. So, and I know sabotage is more intentional, getting things off track, but this is more like, I think, sabotage meaning, say like a bill, they're trying to pass a bill, and then some guy stands up ultimately and says, no, I can't do that. And it's like, no, you were on board like a minute ago and now you've changed your mind. So I think that's what we're going to see more of, which is, no different than every other day. This word indifference. Now this makes me really sad, but it's already been happening for, a long time in this world, but it's just going to get worse. And it makes me sad because it reflects the state of our humanity and the level of fear and how desensitized we are to human suffering. This is about a general attitude of indifference, about just human suffering, particularly when someone is being hurt and people are just there videotaping and not stepping in. And literally the next day after I had this vision, there's a story in Italy, I think it was, broad daylight, like in a busy shopping area, a guy is beating to death a homeless man, and it's all caught on tape, but no one steps in to do anything. I mean, that just makes me sick. But apparently that's what's going to rise up more in people. We're just absolutely, I don't know what's happened to us. Well, anyway, not me. I hope to God. Okay, and this word motivation. The sage's message, I think he talks about it a couple of times, particularly in the hexagram that I got afterwards, is that now is the time to really, really check your check and double check, is this message, your motives for doing anything, because now more than ever, because of what's coming in, the collective consciousness is shifting, and all these energies. If you are on this journey, well, even if you're not, if there is ego motivation or malintent or anything, you are going to get immediate, swift karma. It's not going to be pretty. So, the sage's message on motivation is that to receive true nourishment and satisfaction in life comes from doing something simply for the sake of it, without motivation. You just do it because you love it, and you're doing it and you don't even think about it. Remember, I always say that the true self, your inner truth, acts without forethought, thinking about it, and motivation. You have no reason to do it except that you want to do it. So that's where the sage wants all of us to be, doing it because it's a fun thing to do. It will make your life joy. You love it, and you would do it regardless. Okay. Because karma is going to be swift and severe. Okay. The hexagram that I got for this. Oh, and when I checked in, of course, I get, and last month I checked in, and I, metaphorically, I thought this was all it was. I saw all this water for the US, and I said, it's like the perfect storm. I see the water coming into the boat, and all the cushions are floating up. And it turns out that was a literal vision for the US. We had 3 states that had historic flooding. And I can't remember Louisiana, Mississippi, or Missouri, but Kentucky had like historic flooding, and I think the human death toll has so far been 37 people, and I think it's still climbing. So wow, that is sad, but it's still a metaphor for the karmic action that is happening in the US. And this time when I checked in, once again, I saw a big lightning bolt in the center of the US. Now, will we have like some great lightning storm? Who knows? But I think it's just an indication. We don't need to be psychic to know that, the US is still going down the drain. And but I did see, like, globally, this energetic, like the global energetic field was, big heavy storm clouds, like it's making things dark. And then suddenly underneath those storm clouds, I saw a flash of light, and I got this feeling of hope, or a lovely feeling. And it turns out the hexagram that I threw after that is a perfect match for that image. The hexagram that I got is hexagram 48. And this is talking about the well, hexagram gene key, and it's about the well. And while we did get 2 lines indicating some shadow energy, really it's more of a good message. And what the sage is trying to tell us in line 3 is that the well has been cleaned, but no one is drinking from it. You are aligned with your inner truth, the cosmic laws, but you are too afraid to move forward. And in the gene key speak, the fear here is fear of inadequacy of yourself, or even fear of having inadequate funds or supplies to do whatever your inner truth is calling you forward to do. And the sage is saying, well, and in Gene Keys, the gift, it's called the light at the end, at the bottom of the well. And it talks about hope and moving forward. And that's exactly what I felt. And what the sage is saying is that the big picture is what he's saying, is that now is the time. If you know you're aligned with your inner truth and everything feels fine, good and aligned, and you're not moving forward with something that you want to do because you're in fear because of the collective situation, maybe lack of funds, or you're like, oh, people aren't ready for this. Now's not the time. I'm too scared. The sage is saying, no, now is the time. Because if you want to raise that ship, you want to move into the new earth, now of all the times is the time to follow your inner truth, because that light will begin lifting the entire collective, right? If you stay here, fear with the rest of it, fear of the economy, fear of whatever, then we just stay here. So now's the time to move forward. Okay. He's just indicating that we're doubting one's truth. You know, are you going to let doubt lead or your truth lead? And now is the time to let your truth lead. And he talks about in following one's inner truth, it adds to the entire collective evolution. By adding something fresh. You know, whenever we do something that really is coming, it may be quite similar to what someone else is doing, but because you're doing it, it's fresh. You're going to do it in a new, fresh way. This is the energy that lifts the boat, right? So it adds something fresh to the collective, and it helps evolve others. It helps pull others into their inner truth. By following the already known path, the fear path, it is like eating pre-digested food. There's no nourishment, nothing happens. And the sage is saying that when you are aligned with your inner truth, or, you know, perhaps you feel like 80% I am, but oh, I feel like there's like a little ego pull there. Then he's indicating, he said, please ask the helpers. You know, you can move forward, but be humble and be open to things shifting and changing, but move forward. Because if you are sincere and you ask the helpers and the sage or your guides for help to keep you in harmony, to keep you in pure motivation, then even if there is an underlying ego motivation, it will get worked out and the helpers will clear the path. Even if there's a little stumble and you're like, oh no, I can't go forward, they will fix it. It will be okay. All right, so that's the message. What else? I don't know. Dare I share anything I saw for this month? So collectively, well, for the US, well, actually more for the East Coast, I felt all I heard was sweltering. So I don't know if going forward, you're going to have even more heat, like record heat that isn't normal for the East Coast. But in general, I think the US is just going to be sweltering, a little bit hotter. I did get that maybe the UK might have some more hot days, but maybe it's just hot all over the globe. I don't know. But of course, we are in summertime. So, I mean, I don't have to be psychic for that. When I was just checking in on the West Coast of the United States, I felt a massive rumble. And once again, remember, my locations are always wrong, but I feel like, oh yeah, and in general, this month is I have heard some astrologers talk about that now would be, this is the month with whatever particular planets, energetic wise can cause some natural events to occur, whether it's volcanic, earthquake, but I really did feel a big rumble. I mean, I felt it, a rumble, and I saw water. So maybe there's going to be a notable earthquake somewhere with some water coming in. Is that California or the West Coast? I don't know, but we'll see. And for the second month in a row, I have seen Texas again having a water event. And this time I heard like a newsman saying, and the human death toll, and then it wouldn't complete. And I know that this is like, how can you see that? Because Texas has not had rain for like 60 plus days. It's hotter than hell there. It's dry. They're in a drought. But maybe this is something that's coming that keeps fortifying itself in the collective energy, and the vision just keeps staying because it's something that's coming. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a hurricane or a rain event and they flood. I don't know. But I never heard the part on the human death toll. I don't know. Maybe the human death toll is 0, or maybe it's a big number. I don't know. We'll see. As far as DC, I didn't get anything. Maybe Biden will have another little slip. I definitely saw Putin and his walking, and his leg buckles a little bit. So he really, while he's been seen and photographed as having a limp and one of his arms unable to move, I think this is an indication that one of his legs is giving out, having a little bit more trouble, and maybe it's caught on camera. We'll see. I don't know. Why are we so interested in this? And then I saw Chinese rocket or missiles going into the water. Of course, that has already happened. So I don't know if that's going to happen some more. But the feeling that I got, of course, remember my interpretations are never right, was that, yeah, they're talking big, they're talking smack about Pelosi's trip and doing all this posturing with the missiles. And by the way, last month I saw the missiles being loaded and shooting, and I attribute it to North Korea. So, like I said, who knows what I'm doing here? But what I got was, yeah, they'll shoot some missiles, but it's just they're not going to do anything. Let's hope to God I'm at least right on that. Okay, so I know this energy report, so long, so boring, and maybe I'll stop doing them for a while because I just anyway, I think the message is really appropriate though. If you are in alignment with your inner truth, now's the time to move forward. Don't get stuck in fear of being inadequate yourself or having inadequate resources or the people. If we're going to lift this boat, if we're going to lift the boat for everybody, now is the time. The well is cleaned and full. Okay, that's it. Until next time.